Hi, hey, this is a Browning A-bolt medallion rifle. Years ago, when my wife's grandfather had passed away, my father-in-law inherited a bunch of rifles, and he had decided later in life that he was going to give some of those rifles to his grandchildren, and this rifle ended up with my oldest son. This is a Browning A-bolt medallion rifle. It is in 243 Winchester caliber. And we're going to take this out to the range and give it a shot and test the accuracy. And stick around, we'll be right back.
Fire!
Well, all right, we're back, and we're going to go out to the Game Commission range, and we're going to try this rifle and see what kind of group we can get. Well, we're back. As you can see, the rifle, they had, they had bedded the action in fiberglass, and they had free floated the barrel, and the rifle's very accurate. There's no doubt about that. You can see, I think the group was under 3/4 of an inch at 100 yards. So, there's a lot of concern as late of just how well these rifles perform minute of angle. This particular rifle was made in 1989. There's a code in the serial number towards the end where you come up with some letters, and I have, if you have one of these rifles, right here is the formula to figure out, how you can decipher what year your rifle was made. So you can pause the video if you need to. That's how that works. So. The rifle is quite beautiful. I mean, it's well done. It has laser engraving on it. It's a high gloss finish, and you can see in the pictures that the bluing is nice. It does have a front end rosewood cap, and also a cap underneath the palm rest there. So it's a really nice rifle, and my son has shot his first deer with it, and I was quite proud of him. And just like my youngest son had shot his first deer with the 757, my oldest son had shot his first deer with the 243, and deer went right down. There's no problems. I don't know. I'm not aware of any issues with the 243 as far as deer rifle. They're a perfect deer rifle. For years, what I did for a living was, I was a journeyman meat cutter, and in deer season, much of us always got together and cut out deer, so I know exactly how powerful or what kind of damage these calibers can do on deer, and it is actually quite impressive what they can do. So from that aspect of it, they're very, very capable of taking white-tailed deer. A little bit about the rifle. I knew that my wife's grandfather really liked the rifle. He had even bought some scope rings that were engraved for it, and I put a Bushnell scope on it, 3-9. These are just the average hunting guy. Put these on their rifles, and boy, they're just spot on. You can tell in the groups that it worked just fine. And when you're toting these things around the woods, there's not a lot of weight there. They're only maybe 7.5 pounds with the scope. And another thing you got to do with these rifles is take a few shots offhand so that you're not surprised to see game out there 80 to 100 yards. There's no place to rest. You need to figure out how to do that. We're going to take 3 shots offhand and let you show you just exactly what that is. Now we're back, and you can see that shooting it offhand is quite different than shooting it off the bench. The groups are nowhere near the size of shooting it off the bench. Of course, you can't drag your sandbags and your 400-pound concrete shooting bench into the woods with you. You have to figure out what you're going to do. And, it's good practice to at least try shooting offhand at 100 yards so that you know if you're capable of doing it. I'm an average shooter, but I got the target here, and you can see, I'll put it up. I'll superimpose this target on a deer. This is going to be approximate, where the bullets would land. You can see, for the most part, all of it landed in the vital area of the deer. So do yourself a favor when you're sighting in your rifle and you get it sighted into where you're happy. Stand up, shoot the rifle offhand, and see if you're capable of keeping it on the target or near the target, or at least hit the target. There was a time myself where, shooting a rifle offhand, I couldn't even hit a paper plate at 100 yards offhand. And there are many guys out there that can't. Nothing to be ashamed of. It does take a little bit of practice, and you can do it. But, you don't know unless you try. So that's part of the hunting experience. When you're hunting, you gotta do the ethical thing. You gotta make sure you have the ability to take game cleanly, and we're not wounding animals out there. So you have a responsibility to do your best, and that's going to take a little bit of practice. Even my son, when he went out and shot the rifle, hey, stand offhand and see how you can do. If you can only hit the target at 50 yards, well, then you better find something to rest the rifle on if you're going to shoot past 50 yards. And, that's just kind of the way we did it. So pretty much, other than that, it's a beautiful rifle. It's been in my care now for many, many years, and I very rarely ever get the rifle out. I'll run a patch through it, clean it out, and set it back in the gun safe until, hopefully, my son comes to the house and gets it and gives it to his son, who is of age to hunt now. And I asked him the other day if he'd be interested in hunting. He says, I might give it a try, Grandpa. And I said, well, boy, I sure hope you do, because I got just the rifle. He says, oh, yeah? I said, yeah, your dad's rifle. He didn't even know that his dad had a rifle here. So anyway, that's the Browning A-bolt medallion. Beautiful rifle. Nice and light. I mean, these things are perfect for carrying in the woods. I like it. Well, thanks for joining me here today. You can like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. Appreciate it if you leave a comment. And I will see you again next week. Thank you.